Beware the wrath of Baba Yaga, the terror of the forest. In the darkest depths of the woods, there lived an old woman in a hut that had chicken legs. Her name was Baba Yaga, and she was the embodiment of fear itself. As the legend goes, no one knew where she lived or how long she'd been there, but everyone feared her. Some said she was the spirit of the forest, while others claimed she was a witch who brewed foul potions in her cauldron. But one thing was certain. No one dared to venture near her house for fear of what might happen to them. Deep in the forest, children would disappear without a trace, never to be seen again. Some say they were taken by wolves, while others blamed Baba Yaga. The truth was no one really knew, for the forest held many secrets, and Baba Yaga was its most terrifying one. One day, a young man named Ivan decided to venture into the forest. He was brave and strong, and he wasn't afraid of Baba Yaga or anything else that might lurk in the shadows. He had heard the stories about her, of course, but he was determined to find out if there was any truth to them. So he went into the woods and started searching for her house. As he walked, he came across animals that spoke to him, trees that whispered secrets and flowers that sang eerie songs. But none of this scared him. He kept going until he finally saw it, a small hut with chicken legs that was surrounded by a clearing. It looked just like the stories had described. As Ivan approached the hut, he could hear strange noises coming from inside. At first, he couldn't make out what they were, but then he realized it was the sound of laughter. And it wasn't a friendly, inviting sound. It was sharp and cruel, like the cackle of a hyena. When Ivan knocked on the door, the laughter stopped, and a voice called out, "Who is it?" Startled by the raspy voice, Ivan hesitated for a moment before answering. "It's me, Ivan. I've come to see you." There was a long silence, and Ivan could hear the sound of footsteps approaching the door. Then it opened and a pair of glowing eyes peered out at him. "What do you want?" the voice asked suspiciously. "I just wanted to ask you some questions," Ivan replied, trying to sound polite. "Very well, ask your questions," the voice said, still sounding suspicious. So Ivan asked her all the questions he had prepared, but the more he asked, the more evasive her answers were. She wouldn't answer any of his questions directly, and it was clear to Ivan that she was hiding something. As the conversation continued, Ivan began to feel uneasy. The old woman's eyes seemed to bore into him, and he could sense that she was judging him, trying to decide whether he was friend or foe. "Why do you want to know so much about me?" the old woman finally asked, her voice sharp as a knife. "I just want to understand the legends," Ivan replied, trying to keep his voice steady. The old woman remained silent for a moment, and Ivan could feel the tension building between them. Finally, she spoke. "Very well. I will tell you what you want to know, but you must promise to do something for me in return." "Anything," Ivan replied, eager to get the information he had come for. The old woman smiled, a cruel, knowing smile. "Good. Then let us begin." And with that she led Ivan inside her hut. As he entered the hut, Ivan could see that it was filled with strange and mysterious items. Cauldrons bubbled over open flames, herbs hung from the ceiling, and books lay open on tables, their pages filled with strange symbols and words. The old woman gestured for Ivan to sit down in a chair and then began to tell him the stories that had become local legends. She told him of the children who had disappeared in the forest and whispered of the terrible things that happened to those who trespassed in her sacred grove. As she spoke, Ivan felt a growing sense of dread wash over him. He could feel the power that the old woman possessed, and he realized that he had been foolish to come to her house. But he had come seeking knowledge, and knowledge he would get, even if it cost him his life. And with that thought, he sat back and listened to the old woman's tales. And so the night wore on and the stories continued, and as the fire crackled and the shadows danced on the walls, Ivan learned the truth of Baba Yaga and her cursed forest.